Hey guys,
Three signs that you're a weak speaker.
just checking the volume on here right now.
Relevant details.
It's a little bit of a rainy day.
So look, here's what we're gonna do. MLK, RFK, JFK,
Oops, hold on one second.
9/11, everything. And I hear you got some stuff here to show.
It was actually.
There we go. Just clicking on my video. So you guys, welcome. Hello, big legend. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna grab my glasses. Let me turn down this. So this is my view right now. The electricity is out right now. I just wanted to talk to you guys about, before I do, Howard Mosley, good afternoon. I hope you guys are doing amazing. I have been really doing good. Nothing can beat this view really unless it's one floor up. Because they get to see the whole entire view. But I feel so good just looking at that beach constantly. Let me see if I can zoom in. Juan Turner, what's up? Hola, Foxy Fax. Thank you. That's actually really cute. We have Andre Rose. Good morning, Cerise. I enjoyed your last story time. Thank you. It's been a long time since I brought a story time out, but that guy, he, I think he put himself in a position. And the woman, she, when she sent me the story, another woman messaged me. So I'm not going to say the woman's name, but maybe she's going to listen to this. She messaged me and she's like, Cerise, I met you a year ago on Pedro Clisante with my husband and you were going to get an apartment for us. She said, my husband did the same thing. I was like, what? She said, yes. You see, the story is just so common. And she said he took off. And she said her main worry is, as he's completely gone out of the life of her and her children, her main worry is how will her children know when he dies? And I said, well, us expats, we're very active on Facebook. We have a whole bunch of Facebook groups on Facebook, expat Facebook groups and everything. I have one called Everything North Coast Dominican Republic. So you guys can join it. Everything North Coast Dominican Republic. I have about 7,000 or 8,000 members in there, and everyone posts everything from like restaurants to real estate to personal things that they're selling. We do real estate every Thursday. So I said this to her and she's like, no, he's not even any part of the expat community. He's only with her. I was like, ooh, wow. I don't know what to say about that one. So who else we got here? We have Mr. Wayne. Hello, Mr. Wayne. Happy Sunday. And oh, wait, Howard, I'm glad you're doing okay and love DR. That's awesome. Super Lorenzo. Hi, Cerise. Hello, Super Lorenzo. Mailman QCNC. Hey, hope you are okay. And I am good. And Ramil Alvarez says waves. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. So I wanted to talk to you guys about a few things. Pretty much just what's going on here in the Dominican Republic, Sosua. I'm going to see if I can zoom in a little bit and show you guys the beach. I don't know if I can right there. You know, that's that famous skyline. And we got the beach right there. I'm just going to keep it like that right there. And Mailman QCNC says, how is the, oh, wait, let me see. Andre says, how is the weather? Mailman says, did it flood in Sosua? Not where I'm at. Not where I'm at. It's actually really great right here. I really, it rained and it's been raining. As you can see, it's overcast right now. Let me try to lift up the camera a little bit like that so you guys can get more view of everything there. It did flood in many parts of the Dominican Republic, but right here where I'm at, because Charamicos is up kind of like on a hill, it doesn't flood here. And Cindy says, hi, Cerise. Hi, Cindy. Rebar says, what is the premise of this channel? Oh, you're new here. Okay, so I live in the Dominican Republic for the past 7 years. I help people relocate here. I do random videos on real estate, apartments. I help people find apartments as well and real estate. If they did find real estate on their own, I talk to them about the area they're interested in. I do consultations with people who want to come here and visit and go off the resort, because more and more people are doing that. And they kind of just want to talk to someone who has boots on the ground to give them either a tour or guidance. And I also do story time, little stories about, real stories that people bring to me. And I do the news here. So a little bit of everything. And I'm an expat here. I'm from Canada. So just to let you know that. So I'm going to leave the camera like that, and I'm going to go sit back down again. I want to show you guys a little bit of the beach and a little bit of the skyline. I call that the Sosua skyline. Hold on. That's a very famous Sosua skyline. However, I don't think it's going to be like that. Hold on, I want to get that perfect. You guys are all familiar with? It is for sale. The casino. That blue building is one of the casinos. Talking about the casino, the Playa Chiquita casino is open. And man, oh man, was it busy last Saturday. Wow. Real busy. So let me just look at some of these comments here. Let me see. Last message was from Rebar. Let me just find that one. Uh-oh. Hold on one second, guys. The electricity just came back on. Trying to get to... Myron Burr says, I'm at Casa Linda. We are having very little rain. Good stuff. And Robert, rent low. My rent, it's very reasonable here. I can't get to the prior messages. Hold on. Hold on one second, guys. It's been a little crazy here with the rain and stuff, and the Wi-Fi is affecting, the rain is affecting the Wi-Fi. And I'm going to check my other phone because I'm not getting all these messages. Hold on. Be patient with me, guys. I want to go to the last one that I read. And that was Robar. What's the premise of this channel? And then we have Juan Turner. I live in Puerto Plata, Torre Alta, in the States, working right now. Oh, okay. Well, working hard probably to enjoy this paradise when you get back. And then it says, you will get effects of the hurricane. Yeah, effects of the hurricane, but not much else. How about Punta Cana? Andrew asked. I don't know about Punta Cana. You mean in regards to rent or the flood? Mailman, does it flood in SOV or Casa Linda when there's heavy rain? I don't think Casa Linda floods because it is also up a hill. Like it's all the way up a hill. So it's kind of like placed in a little tiny mountain, but not really. I don't want to call it a mountain. It's a hill. So I've never heard of Casa Linda ever flooding. SOV, I doubt they would flood. They are made so magnificently. They're more of an upscale type of outfit, and I don't think they would ever want that reputation of flooding. So they would most likely have built it in a way where it would drain automatically, because SOV is relatively new. Like, I would say, what, the last 5 years or last 6 years? I'm not sure. You guys let me know. But those are gated communities, for those of you who don't know, and they're usually pristine, well taken care of. The floods usually happen in areas like Maranata, where there's a river there and the river floods. And then some people, we don't really have a recycling program here. So some people just throw garbage everywhere. And then it floods it up and doesn't, and the gutters aren't really good. It's more in the local areas. Now, Batay does flood. Don't get me wrong. The tourist area, Batay on Pedro Clasante, it does flood, but that's with heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier rains. Like last year, it rained almost every single day for about 5 months straight. We would have like a few clear days and then a few days that would be raining. I'll tell you this much. My landlord had to fix one of his roofs, and he couldn't for about 5 months because the roof has to be dry for 3 days. Then you fix it and it has to be dry for another 3 days. But he couldn't fix it for like 5 months straight. So Robert says, is the rent low? It depends on where you are. So the rent is always lower in the local areas, no matter where you are in the Dominican Republic or outside of the tourist hub, just like anywhere around, location. Now, there are a few places that you will be able to get lower rent if it's not furnished. But if you're going for a furnished place and you're going for hot water and you're going for luxury, then the rent's going to reflect what you are renting. But if you're the type of person where you're just like, hey, you'll just get your own furniture, you'll put your own Wi-Fi on, because most places, the Wi-Fi, internet, and cable is included in the rent. So if you're like, you know what, I'll get my own cable, I'll get my own internet, I'll get my own furniture, then you can always talk down the landlord. I'm going to be talking a little bit about rent as well today, as well as tourism, because a lot of you guys have been asking me those questions. Myron said, I'm at Casa Linda. We have very little rain. Oh, okay. Love Women 77 said, hey, if Dominican Republic have a really bad hurricane or earthquake, do they have a safe haven there until it passes through? Yes. So they're very well prepared when it comes to hurricanes. They let us know ahead of time. And especially in the tourist hubs and especially near rivers, there's always some type of a relief. Like last year when there was a flood in Maranata, people's beds were flooded and everything. People, like, the electricity went out for the day, which only happened once in the whole 7 years that I've been here. And so a lot of you guys sent money and a lot of businesses gave me money, and I was busy with a few Canadian expats and American expats, and we were making sandwiches. We were getting like mops and brooms and soap and making up kits, and it was just so devastating for the people who were affected by it, more locals. However, like hotels and Airbnbs here, and there's an unbalance, put it that way. If you are a foreigner, then most likely you are not going to get the worst of it. But in the local areas, unfortunately, they do, and they have very little resources. But the military came in, and the military brought in bags of food and mattresses. The government provided brand new mattresses and everything. So we did make up care kits, but it was like, once we made up the care kits, we went to a church and we were just like handing out, like hundreds of people lined up. It was really, really well organized, actually. It made me feel good to be able to give back. It's not something, as it was a lot, but it's not something I would do all the time. But unless it was a disaster, I'm there. When there's a little flooding, I'm not always looking for charity donations from people because I know that the military and the government will take care of all that. But when it's overwhelming, like what it was last year, whoa, like I can't even begin to tell you. I have a video. It looked so devastating. I have a video on my YouTube channel from a year ago, and you can just look up flood, breaking news flood, and you'll see how devastating it was. And Laurel Missick says, how is it in the San Pedro area? I don't know. To be honest with you, I can't speak on that. Robert Bowles says, how much is a one bedroom American dollars? So everything is priced in American dollars here. If you're Canadian, and, I have a lot of Canadians message me and they're like, how much is an apartment? And then when I get back to them and I tell them it's always American dollars, and they'll be like, is that Canadian or American? Canadian dollars, unfortunately, is worthless around the world. The American dollar is king, and everything here, apartments, if you're a foreigner and you're going to be in the expat area, you're always going to be quoted in American dollars. A one bedroom here, I can only really speak more about where I am skilled and where I'm experienced, and that is here in Sosua and Puerto Plata. You can get a one bedroom anywhere from like 450, furnished, flat screen TV, dishes, utensils, cable included in the rent, Wi-Fi included in the rent, and a safe building that is only foreigners, and gated building for like 400, 450 for a one bedroom. If you want, like, for instance, a pool and 24-hour security, then you're looking at probably about 350 to maybe 400 more, usually starting at 700 for a one bedroom. Starting right now, I don't have any, and that's what I wanted to get into in a minute about tourism. But I'm first going to answer your questions here. And Truth Be Told says, hey everyone, how's the weather now? It's pretty good right now. Priest 2196 says Boca Chica is a great vacation. Oh, yes. Boca Chica is a great vacation area. I am a soul coach. That's my main bread and butter. And I have a client that went to Boca Chica about in the summertime. And he was on the resort though, and he loved it. He took his wife and his daughter. So, he's not into the girls. I don't know about all that, but man, he loved it. And it was his first time in that area. And he was like, Cerise, I loved it. His wife had a good time. His daughter had a good time. The resort was awesome. So yeah, Boca Chica is great. I believe the entire Dominican Republic is awesome. Maybe I'm just biased, but I did a lot of research recently before I moved into this apartment that I'm in right now, because I used to live downstairs for 5 years. Now I'm upstairs. Since we're on apartments, let me show you guys my apartment, okay? Let me take this off. Hold on. I showed my apartment in the last live, but when I was walking around my apartment, it started to stagger. So I'm hoping it doesn't do that. But let me take this off. Hold on. Let me take it off Zoom. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to start from my front door. I'm going to put my microphone right here. I'm going to bring my other phone just so I can see if it staggers. Hold on. I'm going to start from my front door. I'm doing some laundry right now. Oh, it's not showing me walk. Hold on. Hold on one second, guys. I always like to be very... Hold on. Maybe I'm a little bit slow and you guys are ahead of time here. Oh, perfect. Okay. Mine was just a little bit lagged. Okay. So I'm watching this one to make sure that you guys are getting a good feed. Okay. So here's my front door. And there's my apartment. Let me turn this up to make sure you guys are hearing me. There's my apartment. Perfect. Okay, so here's my front door, and I'm gonna go through what is mine and what is my landlord's. Okay, so doing laundry right now. That's my washer. I bought that washer. That's my landlord's fridge right there. And that's my microwave right there. And let me show you out my window. It's authentic Dominican area. So this is the local area, okay? This is called Los Charamicos, and there's all my cupboards. So everything there is mine, all the glasses and everything. Those white things up there are seeds that I'm planting right now. Like, you know, what can I call it? Well, grape seeds, papaya seeds. I like to keep all my old seeds. And so that's mine right there. I like to make cooking videos. And that's mine right there. Okay, that's my whole kitchen. And an unfinished piece of chicken on the floor right there. This is an avocado plant that I have right now in water because I'm going to be planting it soon. So all the plants that you see are mine. This is the dining room, but I made it into my office. All of that is my furniture. All the curtains are mine, but those light fixtures are not mine. Those came with the apartment. Okay, so that's mine over there. A lot of people like to buy their own stuff. So I'm gonna go into, actually, you know what I'll do? I'll continue to go straight through. These are my own artwork that I got at the Tienda, the Chinese store here. $20 for each one. They're really nice, actually. Look at, they're embossed. And so this furniture is my landlord's furniture. I've had this furniture for 5 years. And I have a dog and a cat. But I just get it cleaned like every 3 months. The pillows are all, there's my dog and cat right there. I had that made on Temu. But the pillows are all mine. And look at all the greenery. There's like mango trees outside. People think that the local area is not a pretty area because of, you know, the buildings. But they're all going to get painted and stuff one day soon. That's a mango tree right there, avocado tree. So that's mine. And then here's my view. Here's my dog. Hi, Noche. Hi, Noche. Look, she wants some belly rubs. So here's my balcony. I think it's a nice size. Let me turn around. And of course, everyone has to have an aloe vera plant when they're here. I got that one. I'm so proud of that aloe vera plant. As you can tell, I love plants. Here's my stand right now to do my live. Here's my cat. Besos. Hi. Say hi to everybody. Okay, sorry for waking you up. Okay, I'm going to be planting some stuff in there very soon. And oh, these are my, right here, my lines to put my laundry up. Right here. And my bedroom. This is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. Those are my curtains. I went to the Chinese store and I like white. So, you know, and I like white, red, and black. So you'll see that my main colors are that. You know, this is my seating area. This is where I like to sit right here and read. That's the book I'm reading right now. It's an oldie but a goodie, and I get to still see the water. So I sit here, kick my feet up, and that was my water notification. Kick my feet up and I get to look at the water. That towel is drying, so you can't really see much. So now we're going to walk through. Now this is my closet. I just put my purses there, and underneath there, I have storage. But that is my closet, but I don't use that as my closet because I just feel like it would be really crowded. Here's my dad. He passed on. May he rest in peace. And here's my bathroom. Let me put my seat down. I was just cleaning it. Okay. Here's my bathroom. This is mine right here. It's just for my perfumes and my nail stuff and my teeth stuff because I have braces. So. And this is my mirror right here. You can see it's reflecting into over there. And now we're going to go into my son's bathroom. My son comes once a year. No one uses his bathroom because, well, I clean it and I keep it fresh for him because I never know, you know, he may pop up when I'm not expecting him, but I do know he's coming November 20th. We already got the ticket. And this is his bathroom. And now I'm going to show you where my closet is. So this is my son's room. Hold on. So this is my son's bedroom. That's my green screen right there because I like to do videos and sometimes put a background on my other channel that I have called Sister Cerise. I got that because it's a little bit that photo. I mean the paint, well, the artwork, because it reminds me of Canada. So here's his bed. Those beds are homemade, handmade. The beds are handmade. They don't you have to take them apart to put them inside. They will not leave this bedroom. So the doors and the beds are all handmade. Now there are bars on the windows, on the bedroom windows. And there's my closet. So you can see I had my closet, I didn't have anything in it except for the bar to hang things up on. So there's air conditioning and also fans. Those are just shoes that I need to go through and give most of them away. And yeah, so then we come back out, and that's pretty much it. That's where I do most of my videos from when I'm talking to you guys. But lives I do from here. Oh, there's my TV. Here's my TV. That's my TV. That's their table. But I brought it from downstairs. Now, downstairs is also available. It's empty. A 2-bedroom, same layout as my layout. Exact same layout, nothing different. And it's $750 a month for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. Just to give you guys an idea, it's in the local area. So what I'm going to do now is just put you guys back up on this right here, okay? Give me a moment. There's that sweet spot with the casino and the beach. Now, I know there's a lot of messages here that you guys were writing as I was giving you the little tour. So I'm going to read those, and then I'm going to get more into rental and the changes that have been happening. And I'm also going to let you guys know about what's happening in the Dominican Republic with the electricity and also tourism in Sosua and what has reopened. Okay, so here are a lot of messages. I'm going to breeze through them, so be patient with me. Can you survive? Robert Bull says, can you survive 2,000? Yes, you can survive here on 2,000 a month, 100%. If you have a 1-bedroom, and you can get a 1-bedroom in I live in the local area. Those houses that you see right there with the roofs, that's a gated community in the local area, which is very unique. You can get a 2-bedroom there for like $2,000 a month. But right over here on this side, more modern, I believe more modern. And, in the local area where you can get all the food, fresh vegetables, fresh fruit from the farmers. They sell it in the street. You go and you get fresh butcher shop. The butcher shop opens up at 7:00 in the morning and closes at 11. Like there's no way you can go and get any meat after that because it was just butchered that day. Fish shops, there's everything. It's very authentic, and you can also get like a supermarket. There's a supermarket here. So it's like not even over the train tracks. You know how they say on the other side of the tracks? It's not even on the other side of the track. It's literally on the other side of the beach. But in this situation right here, just from my back door to my front door, you guys saw what the front looked like, and this is the back. So, it is. You can live on 2,000 a month. I would say you can live on 1,500 if you are not a person that indulges in bars and restaurants and, of course, the ladies. If you're a person that has a very low income and you are only, let me give you a scenario. A person that comes here and has like $1,500 a month, okay? You have $1,500, no matter if it's money that you saved or a pension, or if you're working online. You come here, and with me, you pay 1 deposit and 1 rent. I'm going to get more into that in a minute because a lot of landlords are asking for 2 deposits, sometimes even 3, and rent. My landlords don't do that. They understand that you guys are coming and with a budget. Okay, so I digress. Sorry. 1,500. Let's say you get yourself a studio apartment right next door to me. You can get a studio apartment, fully furnished studio, right? So you get your bed, you get your little kitchen bistro, like with your 2 chairs and a table. You get your cable included. And also you get a TV included, and you also get your Wi-Fi included. You pay your electricity separately always, and you get all your kitchenware stuff. 350 for a studio. And if that is your thing, you'll also get hot water, 350 a month. And that's it. You pay 1 deposit and 1 rent. And you're good. You don't have to sign a year contract unless you want to prevent the rent from going up. But a lot of the Dominicans, they don't raise the rent like they do around the world in the United States and Canada. So yes, you can live on $1,500 a month. Because if your rent is like, $350 American, then you're still working with 1,200 to 1,150, right? So you're looking at your food as a single person. If you're really not spending a lot on food, you're looking at about, maybe 200, 300 a month if you're buying from the locals, from the farmers for your fruits and your vegetables and your meat. And, you still have money to go out maybe once a week to go to restaurants. And especially if you go to all you can eat, like there's all you can eat on Thursday at Thursday at Germany Bar and Grill on Route 5, starts at 5 o'clock. It's barbecue type of thing. It is German food, but it's like really good stuff that they have there, like salads and ribs and everything is barbecue. So it's 550 pesos. So that's like $11. And then if you go to like Casa Coco on a Saturday, it's 600 pesos for all you can eat, $12. So if you go out like 2 days a week, you're looking at $12 and $11, and then transportation, it's really not going to take a lot out of your pocket. But if you're a person that really is like me and you just like to sit at home, and I go out for drinks every now and again, but not often enough to say that it affects my income. But I like to walk on that beach every morning with my dog, and I mostly home, do my own cooking, and I would say I'm frugal. I do a lot of online shopping. I will admit to that. I like to buy stuff online. Most of the stuff I buy, I give it away. But all I'm saying is, yes, you can live on $2,000 a month. If you want a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, you can rent out the other room. If you are, a person that doesn't mind living with anyone, like I just showed you my apartment, 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. And if you pay $750 a month, the other person lives with you, you can rent it out on Airbnb. And if you're renting it on Airbnb, you're going to make your money back and more if you don't mind renting it. And you wouldn't, there's not a lot of freaks that come here. I'm going to be honest with you. So if you are a person that wants to rent out a place, a 2-bedroom, and it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and you put it on Airbnb, you're not going to, people that come here are not weirdos. You just tell them no smoking if you're not a smoker, or you just run the rules, and you could make some good money living in your apartment and meet some really good people. People that come to the Dominican Republic for visits, I think they're awesome, So I know that was a long explanation. For those of you who are just tuning in for the first time, please hit that like button and also subscribe. But also, I'm long-winded. I answer when you ask a question. Where is this Swap Jockey Gym? It's in Los Charamicos. Charamicos, or if you say it in English, Charamicos. Charamicos, local area straight across from Playa Sosua, Sosua Beach. Beautiful area, family friendly, foreigner friendly, and just great. I've been living here for a very long time. Robert says reasonable. A lot of Americans. Yes, a lot of Americans, a lot of Canadians, a lot of Germans, a lot of Italians, just a lot of foreigners. But in my area, there are more locals, Haitians and Dominicans, and Americans. Canadians as well. And some Germans in my building. Actually, there's a European. I'm going to say European. Okay. So European, Canadian, American. Juan Turner says, I pay $30K in Puerto Plata, 474, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. Yes, Puerto Plata is relatively less expensive. And you can even get a house for like $800, $900 a month, depending on where you are. And if you want to go into Torre Alta, where Juan is, you can get a nice place unfurnished. If you're willing to buy your own furniture and put electricity and Wi-Fi and also internet, cable in your own name, you can definitely do that. You're going to win. It's a win-win all around. And Swab Jockey says, I was there once. And Kaiser Sosa says, flooding stopped. We didn't flood here, but, the flooding has stopped, I would say. When it floods, guys, it's gone within like 24 hours. It starts to drain. But it does get heavy, but only some areas flood, and it's more of the local areas. This is a local area, but because we're up a little hill, we don't flood here. Robert Ball says, what beautiful. Thank you. So Howard Mosley says, love it. So beautiful. Thank you. Andre Rose says, I love your apartment. Thank you. Love women. Thank you so much for the generous contribution. You guys, thank you. Thank you so much for watching too, because I know that YouTube has so many videos that you guys could have clicked on, but you're here with me and I appreciate you. Thank you, Love Women, for the contribution. It says, hi, do they have and or do any rent to own programs with the condos, apartments, or villas? Yes, some places will rent to own and some places do have those programs. It really depends on the individual, your down payment. Some people, they don't have that program, but they're pre-building and they're like, hey, make an agreement with the builder. If you guys, that's the key. I know that you guys like to deal with real estate agents. I'm not a real estate agent and I don't want to be one. I work with many real estate agents. I don't limit myself. I'm a real estate advisor, so I don't have listings. I'm not strapped to a listing. I'm not trying to hustle anyone. Not that the agents do hustle, because the agents here are quite honest and the ones that I work with are great. But I don't have any personal listings. So when you guys come to me, I'm going to go to some really reputable agents and, try to get you what you want. And a lot of agents are really awesome. Anyway, I digress. But some people will do rent to own. Some owners will do rent to own. And a lot of owners contact me. I deal with a lot of the owners. So if you guys are looking to deal with the builder, contact the builder. This is not to take away from any of the agents that might be watching this, because the agents work hard. They hustle. I'm a hustler, baby. I just want you to know. And they are hustlers. And so I don't want to take away from them. But if you happen to come across something that is being built, contact the builders directly and see if you can do some type of a deal with them. Shizmac says, nice pad. Thank you. Truth be told, nice spot. Thank you. Robert Bull, how's crime? America. The crime here is actually the lowest that it has ever been in 10 years. There are petty crimes here in the Dominican Republic. There's pickpocketing. In Sosua itself, that has gone down dramatically since they brought in Operation Atlantico. For those of you who don't know, Operation Atlantico was an operation to get rid of the street girls and, quote, air quotes, clean up Sosua. It has improved Sosua streets in regards to the garbage on the streets, in regards to literal litter on the streets. Sosua does look cleaner and the girls are still around. I mean, like I said, they were at the casino. They're at different spots. I'll get into that later. But the crime is like petty crimes. Just be careful with your stuff. If you go swimming on the beach, like for instance, in the mornings when I go to the beach with Noche, my dog, um, I take off my shoes and everything, and I just put it in one little spot, and I just mark my spot, and I walk along the beach. Nobody's really going to do anything. There's no home invasions or anything of that nature. There are some things that do happen from time to time, but it's usually, and I don't want to be, putting down victims, but it's usually the person who put themselves in that position, you know. Like for instance, let me just go off track for a second. A guy was recently killed. I know, heavy, right? A guy was recently killed, and maybe about 2.5 months ago, a foreigner, and he was with a working girl all day. This was just when Atlantico first started. Working girls were not on the street. They were pretty desperate. Whatever they could get, they were taking. So he spent the whole entire day with this working girl, and they were drinking. They were, she was doing some substances. I don't know about him. I don't want to victim shame, but she was doing substances, admittedly. And when she wanted to go, he didn't want her to go. He was with her the whole entire day. This is her story. And he said, okay, you can go, but I'm just going to give you 500 pesos instead of 5,000 pesos. And she wanted to go. She has a boyfriend that was waiting for her. And, she was young, like 19 years old, of Haitian descent, but Dominican still, like she was born in Dominican, but Haitian descent. And he apparently wouldn't let her get out of the house. He was just giving her $5. 500 pesos, which is $10 for the whole entire day. So, and that happens quite often here, where a guy will be with a working woman, and then he like makes an agreement with her, and she's ready to go, and he gives her a hard time. But this was right when Atlantico started, and this woman didn't have any other option to leave, and she probably she said she felt a little uncomfortable calling the police because of the new strict laws. So apparently he had a knife, and she took the knife from him, and she stabbed him to death a few times. Now, again, I don't want to victim shame. That's the most horrible thing to do. But this is something that's common over the years that I've been here. I've heard about it maybe 5 years, and 5 times in the 7 years that I've been here. So people put themselves into positions that are vulnerable. Like it's a lot of vulnerability. So don't let anyone in your house. Like, I live with my cat and my dog. I don't answer my door. I have cameras everywhere. Like let me show you my cameras. Actually, hold on. So here's hold on. Let me unzoom. Okay, so here is my home screen, right? You guys can see that. So tap on that, and I have this thing called Tapple. And then I have that, and it shows you my kitchen, right? My kitchen. And then I have another camera, shows you my living room, right? And I bought these online on Amazon for $14, these cameras. And you can set alarms and everything, and playback and everything. It shows playback. Like I have playback for a while, and it's not the cloud. I don't pay every month for these cameras. And then I also have one in my bedroom. In my bedroom. I don't know if you guys can see that, right? So, I mean, you got to have cameras, $14, great investment. On Amazon, these are called Tapo. There's there's different types, different brands, I guess. Um, I just got the one that you put a little chip in. Cameras everywhere. So I put the chip in, and I don't pay monthly. The chip that I put in, I just use that. So, and then his Mac, I'm behind on all these messages, guys. His Mac says, how much is that going for? What is what going for? My apartment that I just showed you, there's one downstairs below, and it goes for $750 a month, 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. And how much is rent, if you don't mind me asking? $750 a month for the 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. But obviously, it depends on where you are. I do have a few apartments. If you guys are looking, you just message me. Joshua says, haha, the seat was up. You got a man. Tell us the truth. No, I don't got a man. I actually sit on the rim of my toilet. We don't have, oh gosh, this is a little bit embarrassing. Okay, it's not embarrassing. It's the real deal, Holyfield. So I don't sit on the toilet seat here. And you will not see toilet seats in a lot of the Dominican Republic. Like if you go to a lot of Dominican places, Dominican establishments, you won't see those unless they're like they're plastic, they're cheap. So when I sit on it, it slides to the side, slides to the other side, and it breaks and it slips. And because my toilet is shaped differently, like oblong, it's hard for me to really get a perfect seat for it. And so when I go pee, whatever, I just sit right on the porcelain. And that's that. I'm Dominican, that's where, and even when I go somewhere, like to a Dominican place, you don't have to lift the seat up, take it down. There's usually, authentic Dominican restaurants. I don't mean like nice, well, authentic Dominican restaurants are nice too, but I don't mean like upscale restaurants. Upscale restaurants here do have the seats, but I don't sit on toilet seats anywhere. Only my own home. So I sit right on the porcelain. It's plastic and it's cheap. The seats that I get here, and I was constantly replacing them. So I was like, gosh. And you know what? I'll be honest with you guys. Without that extra seat, doing your business just feels so much more better. Like if you guys go on TV and you on like YouTube and stuff, you'll see that the closer you are to the porcelain, the better it is for your body. Asian people know that. They even put a little stool in front of the throne to lift their legs up, their knees up higher, so they can, get their business done better. It's a lot of information there. Gosh, like I said, I answer. And no, I don't have a man, Joshua. I'm open, open, but I'm really doing a lot with myself right now, going to laser treatment. I went the other day to laser treatment. That's why the camera's not on me right now. My whole entire face is peeling, scabbed from laser treatment. And I went to reflexology the other day, fell asleep on the massage table, got an hour foot massage. And, it's just great. Not too many, let me see, Shizmac, not too many women with bathrooms that clean. Thank you. Albert Jimenez, nice place. Thank you. Paladine 1980 says, it's a beautiful apartment. It certainly looks spacious. Best wishes. Thank you so much. Bruce says, have not seen bars on windows since when my family lived in LA when I was a kid. Yeah, there's bars on the windows there. But on the other side, There's no bars, like the living room, the kitchen, and stuff like that. It's just that the building where the bedrooms are closer. Like the roof of the building is closer, so no one can climb up and get in. My landlord was thinking, Juan Carlos Santana. Hey, looks nice. Thank you, Bruce. That is a beautiful view. I could chill on that balcony all day long. And I do. I go for a walk in the mornings with my dog, usually between 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock. I get back and make a little breakfast or just my coffee. And oh, man, this is my spot. This is my chill spot. Timothy says, nice apartment. Thank you. Shizmac says, is the casino open in Pedro Clasante? Yes. So that blue building that you guys are looking at, that's one casino that has always been open. It did not close down. There's another casino that's in Playa Chiquita, which is you go straight up Pedro Clasante and you make a little turnabout and you'll get to the other one. That's the one that the mayor owns, Willie. It reopened last week or the week before, and it was lit the first day that it was open. But the second day that it was open, there was like, my buddy told me there was like 70 women and like 30 men. So yeah, it's quite busy. Tourism is picking back up again. I'm going to talk about that in a second. I just want to get through these messages and respect everyone who left a message. And Paladine says, wow, that rental rate is amazing. Yeah, no, it wouldn't happen over in the United States. S81 808 says, hi, hello. Health insurance. Health insurance is a great question, guys. I'm coming almost to the end of the questions. Health insurance, that's a great question. I pay $80 Canadian a month, which is like, I don't know, 65 or 60 bucks American dollars. I have a really good health plan. I'm with Universal Insurance. There's people that go for different ones. I'm with Universal, but there's one called Humano, which is Humano. There's another one called Mafre. There's all different ones, and they're pretty good plans. You just pay monthly. I'm Canadian, so I don't know about plans. I'm new to this in the last 7 years. I never ever paid for health insurance in Canada. It was free. So, it's a new thing for me in the last 7 years. I haven't really used it. I used it one time for teeth cleaning. I went for teeth cleaning. The original price for teeth cleaning at that time, 7 years ago, was $20 to get your teeth cleaned. I think now it's like $30. So it was $20 to get my teeth cleaned back then, and I paid $17. So I got $3 discount for that. And Robert Bowles says efficiency is good for me. Robert, if you're looking to come here to, save money and live a good life, and efficiency is good for you, then this is the place for you, because I did a lot of research recently, like about over a month ago. I was looking, I got that 7-year itch, and I was like, okay, maybe there's somewhere else around for me. I'm 53 years old. I have my dog. I have my cat. I was willing to just get rid of everything that I had and just get on a plane. So I looked at a few places and few countries in Africa. I looked at Kenya. I looked at the Gambia. I looked at Ghana. All of them were really expensive. And I couldn't find what I had here at the same price. And I was like, forget that. I'm not going unless I can get something cheaper and still, and especially if it's that far away from Canada. I want to make sure. I was looking for more, like maybe $400 a month for rent for what I got here. And I was willing to do it. Nothing in Africa. There were beautiful places in Africa, beautiful countries. Those countries all have really beautiful places, but nothing was as cost efficient and as where I am at. I looked at China, but it was too bureaucratic for residents to get your residency. I looked at Thailand. Thailand is starting to get stricter when it comes to doing your border run. Here, you don't have to do a border run. And then I looked at Malaysia. Malaysia was really nice, but I thought not good enough to replace where I'm at. And I looked at Vietnam. It was a hard no, but I looked at Cambodia, and it was a hard no. I looked at Italy. Thailand was actually up there, but I just didn't want to make the border runs, to be honest with you. But Thailand was pretty much up there for me. Chiang Mai was the place I was going to go to. And so, anyway, the Dominican Republic was amazing. And for me, it is home. I am Stacks Dinero says Barrick Gold needs to be removed from the Dominican Republic. Canadians can visit, but they really need to take their nuclear waste back home with them. Is not a dumping ground. Barrick Gold. I don't know anyone about that. I am Stacks Dinero. Please explain more. And I may do a whole entire video on it. I'm Canadian. So I don't really know it. As far as I know, Canadians are pretty cool here. They've done a lot for the Dominican Republic. They've built a lot of homes, especially here. They've donated a lot of fire trucks. Before, just about a couple of months ago, you would hear the fire trucks and they go, da-da, 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 da-da. Recently, they're like, da-da, da-da. It just sounds like Canada when I hear the fire trucks, which is really cool because Canada has donated a lot. So Canadians do a lot here. Canadians, I think, are just nice anyway, but so are Americans, and Americans have been doing a lot, especially America with, the U.S. going into a lot of the Caribbean countries. And I know that a lot of you guys may not like that. I'm going to go off track a little bit right here, guys. I was listening to a podcast about Trinidad. Trinidad does not want the U.S. in their waters, the U.S. military in their waters at all. Venezuela obviously doesn't, but the Dominican Republic is working hand in hand with the U.S. right now. Let me get to some more of these messages, and then I'll get into politics if you guys like. Albert Jimenez, Dominican Republic signed a partnership with NVIDIA, which clearly indicates that the electrical issues will soon be over with the new power plant. Otherwise, NVIDIA would have never signed a partnership. So the electricity went out today for the first time in like a little while. And it's been raining a lot. Usually when it rains a lot, the electricity goes out for a little while. I can happily report that the electricity has been good in Charamicos, the local area. I can happily report this. Albert, 100%. The president, Luis Abinader, he has been doing a lot for the Dominican Republic. I appreciate him. I believe that he is doing his best, and the electricity will get dealt with. He says no more blackouts as of 2026, and I believe that. Robert says, don't get rid of the girls, laugh out loud. The girls on Pedro Clisante, you guys get the thumbs up, like the video. Let me know you like this video, this content. And don't get rid of the girls. The girls are not, they just didn't want the girls hanging on the street. And a lot of it has to do with some of the vloggers that were coming here and getting quite nasty, with it all. I just heard my washer. I'm going to see if I can I'm going to leave you guys watching. I'm going to see if I can go change my laundry as I'm talking to you guys. Let me see if my microphone will work that far. Right now. Hold on, guys. Just changing my laundry. Okay. There we go. Just putting some fabric softener in. So yeah, guys, I forgot the question. Sorry, let me look at the. I'm gonna just look at the questions here. Don't get rid of the girls. Yeah. Oh, how could I forget that question? I mean, that comment. So no, the girls are not gone, and I don't really like to get too much into that topic because I'm aware that politicians watch us vloggers, and so I don't want to be on any side of the fence because I am cognizant of the issues. So I don't want to be that person that like supports or doesn't support, but I don't see any problem with the girls if they're regulated. I think that a lot of people come here for the girls, and that's great. But what happened was a lot of the vloggers, some of them, not all of them, not the ones that live here, but many of them actually they were exploiting the women. They were videoing a lot of the women against their will. And some of the women, like some of them are like they're professionals, and they call them weekend warriors. They come here from Santo Domingo, from Santiago, even Puerto Plata, and they don't want to be on camera. You know, they just want to make their little bit of money and head back out. Some of them are students. Some of them are, like I said, professionals. You know, I had one woman that was a dentist. She was going to dental school, rather, from Santo Domingo. And she messaged me ahead of time, like recently. And she said to me, she's like, Cerise, I go from time to time. I only do online. I get myself a hotel room when I'm there. Like, she rents a hotel room. I won't say where, but it's a nice one. It's not like here in Charamicos. Here in Charamicos, a lot of the girls come and they'll pay like 500 pesos a night, 300 pesos a night. 300 pesos is like $6, and they'll spend like 300 pesos a night or whatever. And they'll get one of these cheap motel here in Sosua, I mean, in the local area. And then they'll go into the foreigner area. This girl, she gets a really nice hotel in the foreigner area. She doesn't take the guys there or anything, but she gets herself a nice hotel, which is probably like 45 bucks a night, you know. And she was in dental school. And she said to me, she's like, I just want to say, like, if you can tell your viewers that she said she's actually happy with the cleanup. And she said she likes that she can be somewhere and not be videoed now. You know, she was terrified of that because she was going to school to become a dentist, and she had absolutely very little money. She has children. She has 2 children. She was trying to get her life together. And yeah, so, you know, there's where there's negative, there too lies positive, you know? So, the girls, there's some really good, beautiful women just trying to get themselves through school, trying to just grab some money, and they didn't want to be on camera. And there were some nasty vloggers that were videoing these women against their will and exploiting them on the beach, in the casino, like everywhere. So they clamped down because it was making Sosua look bad. People are like, oh, you know, the authorities did this and did that. Well, if they didn't see those videos on YouTube, they probably, Sosua would still be going on like it once was, you know. But the fact that those videos existed and the whole world started to consider Sosua like just the basin of God's feet, they brought in Operation Atlantico. Now, everything, in my opinion, is getting back to normal. That's what I wanted to talk about, tourism. But I just want to finish up these questions that I missed. Let me see. I'm glad your problem is about toilet seats. Could be worse. Like getting right, exactly. Hats off to Marge. A very nice place. Thank you, Juan. Robert, going to think about it. We'll contact you. America's going downhill. Canada is also not doing too well. And that sounds great, Robert. You can contact me whenever you like. And let me see, missing a couple here. Wait. Dominican is not part of the US at all, but they're working hand in hand with the Dominican Republic right now. The US is doing a lot of the military in the waters here. A lot of drug seizures has been happening because a lot of people use the Dominican Republic to take drugs to the US. So the US is doing with the Dominican Republic right now what they do with Canada. Canada, outside Canada borders, it's the US military. The US military really takes care of Canadian borders. If you guys didn't know that, I'm Canadian. And so the US really does do a lot of the control outside of the Canadian border because the US they really don't trust other people around the world to be able to do what they can do. You know, if you're going to get the job done, do it yourself, do it right. And I just feel like America knows that they're an empire. America knows what their worth is. And they're like, yo, let me just get in and do your military for you. So the Dominican Republic has allowed the US to come into the Caribbean waters and do a lot of work with the DEA. And so that they have been doing a lot of arrests, a lot of drug seizures, cocaine, more namely. And they have been doing a lot with the UN. This president here speaks English, and he has been doing a lot of work with the United States. Not only that, the United States dollar, the American dollar, is very respected here. So even when the American dollar goes down around the world, you guys can chat GPT this just to truth fact it or fact check it. Even when the American dollar goes down around the world, the Dominican Republic, they do a little like twitching here, and they make the dollar more valuable here for Americans that are coming here, even if the dollar is down around the world here. So that they're working hand in hand. So the answer in short, no, it's not part of the US, but they are making a lot of agreements together, and the US is making more of a prominent presence here in the Dominican Republic, as is China, as is not necessarily China itself, but a lot of Chinese residents and a lot of Chinese immigrants, I guess expats we'll call them, since that's what we call them here. And a lot of them have businesses here, and a lot of Russians as well. Okay, let me see. Oh gosh, weird question. Do you ever see tourists with metal detectors on the beach? I'm coming down in November, wondering if I should bring yours. Absolutely. What's your name? Mary and Frank. Bring yours. Now, I do know one person. He's a Haitian guy. His name is Carlos. I haven't seen him for a while, but he does have a metal detector, and he finds a lot of stuff. One time he found a gold coin. So if you guys look up Dominican Republic gold coins, you'll know that there are a whole bunch that was lost in the sea. I look for like Latimer, like the blue stone that is only here in the Dominican Republic, in amber every morning, and I find Latimer, and it's really expensive. I'll show you guys what Latimer looks like. I have it right here on my bracelet. That's Latimer. And I have it right there. It's blue. So it's beautiful. And I find little pieces on the beach. Let me go grab a couple of pieces that I found yesterday and this morning. I'm just walking into my kitchen, so I hope I'm not losing any reception with you guys. So I find Latimer on the beach early mornings. And so here's a little piece there. Here's a piece here. Early mornings. I don't know if you guys can really see that much, but amber and Latimer. So amber is a huge thing here in the Dominican Republic. I know you asked about metal detectors, but I'm just going off on my own little tangent here, and I apologize. I'll get back to it. But Latimer you can only find in the Dominican Republic. Is indigenous, if that's the word, to the Dominican Republic. You can get it really light, dark, and it's beautiful. So I like to collect glass. I like to collect Latimer, and I'm always looking for amber. Amber is a tree sap, but sometimes it comes up on the shore. And so, yes, a lot of tourists, especially here, they lose things. People drink, they go swimming, or they go swimming with a necklace on without even drinking, and they dunk under and they forget that their chain can go over their neck, and boom, it's gone. You know, you step in the water and the sand takes it away immediately. So there are a lot of treasures on this beach right here. Also Playa Alicia. And this is where you would definitely find treasures, because this is where the foreigners are. How much, I don't know. I bought a few good pieces from Carlos, the Haitian guy that I told you about with his metal detector. I bought a few good pieces from him. He sells them here to Orion. Orion is a pawn shop just down the street from me right here. And he also sells them to my buddy across the street, Jose Luis. And he usually makes a really good living from it. Now, will you find something every single day? I can't promise that. But his metal detector goes right into the water, not just on the beach. He goes a little bit up to like his ankles. But you have to get on the beach early in the morning, when, you know, and especially when there's like a rainstorm just passed, you know, so really good question, not a weird question at all. Straight Python. Hi, Straight Python. How you doing? Good afternoon. And then DFW817 King says, Jamo Carter. Yeah, Jamo, you know, he did do a lot of videoing of the women, and I don't want to put him down because I did meet him in person more than once. I was doing a production here on Storytime. I do Storytime on my channel. So I was trying to get some actors together to do Storytime. And he came to be one of my actors, and he sat down, and he's a very nice guy, just so nice. And so his channel and all those women didn't really reflect who he was. He's a Sagittarius like me. And I got to talking to him. He contacted me to do a video with him one time when he was living here. And when I looked at his channel, I just didn't respond. I was like, oh man, I can't. And this was way before Operation Atlantico. This was like 3 years ago. And I was like, no, I didn't even respond to him. I didn't say yes or no. I just was like, nah, man, I can't even respond to that. Look at his channel. It's all about these girls. He's exploiting these women on the beach. And there's nothing but butts and breasts and like booties everywhere. And I'm like, I can't, what would we have in common? Our channels don't reflect, and not every channel is the same, but it's not like, I didn't want to be put in that type of light. Right. So, but him personally, sit down with him. He's such a pleasure to just sit down and talk. He's kind of shy, just a sweet guy. So, you know, the channel does not reflect his nature. I will just say that. So what he did here, he was one of the ones who did exploit the women. Unfortunately, he was one of the ones who did capitalize off the sex tourism. And he was one of the ones who did, you know, kind of show a part of Sosua that was more extreme than what it really was. And that's really unfortunate. And I think it didn't even represent him, and it didn't even represent Sosua. He exploited it. And I don't like to speak badly about another person and their channel, because again, like I'm saying, he's such a lovely person. But yes, he definitely was responsible, one of the responsible ones for doing that. I didn't flake on him. I did meet up with him. I did meet up with him, but he came as an actor, like, because I was going to do story time, which I am going to do, guys. I'm going to get some actors together and I'm going to do some real life story times. But he literally came and sat down, and he came as one of my actors. They selling cat. Who's that? Al Bale. They selling cat, meow. Let me show you my cat. I saved her. Let me see. I don't know. She's sleeping her up. So let me just go like that. Besos. Besos. Look at her ear. Besos. Yeah. Hi, babe. You gonna say hi to everyone? Look, she's like, whatever. And then here's my dog. I have it all zoomed in. Noche? Hi, baby. Hello, my sweet girl. Look at that face. Hello, my sweet babe. She's jumping up on me. Yes, I saved her from getting eaten. Tea soup. But yeah, so let me see some other questions here. They really screwed it up for views and content creation. Ross Arino. Yeah, they really screwed it up. All for views and content. Yes. Oh, I got you. All for views and content creation. That's what they were doing. I live here and I would never go on those streets and video those girls for a few thousand views. Speaking of which, guys, get those likes up. Click that thumbs up button. But I really wouldn't do that. And yeah, of course I would love to get, 300,000 views on a video. I work really diligently and, disciplined. I'm very determined to get my numbers up, my views up. And the more views you get, the more YouTube shares your channel, the more monetization you get, and you can live financial freedom. Of course, I would love that in regards to my YouTube channel, but there's a blessing in it and there's also a negative in it, because I wouldn't want to put all of my eggs in the YouTube basket, because obviously one day it will change. As it does, YouTube changes consistently, but at the same time, I'm happy with the views that I got, and I'm happy with you guys. And, I don't feel I need to exploit the girls in order to get views. And I don't think Jamo was actually, I'm going to try to zoom that in for you guys a little bit more. Let me put it over there now. Let's see if you guys can see people walking on the beach. Hold on. It's a little bit blurry, I know. Let me just try to take it out a little bit. But again, I don't want to put anybody else's channel down. Let's go like that. Let's get a nice little different view now. I don't want to put anybody else's channel down, but yeah, they definitely came here, raped the beach, so to speak, literally, and then took off again and just left Sosua kind of gasping for air. Like, oh my gosh, is that what these people are doing? The vloggers coming here and just showing the worst of Sosua. And then, of course, they had to change. Of course they did. People are coming in here to invest. Sosua has been rising and rising and rising. And, real estate was doing so well and investors were coming in and everyone was happy. And then all of a sudden an investor will go online to they heard about this Sosua place. They go online and they're like, oh, like serious investors, people that really, have millions in their pockets and they want to build and they want to create more jobs for the Dominicans and everything, and, create more happiness and adventures for the expats and the visitors. And then they're like, oh my gosh, is that what that's all about? No. And then real serious investors started to change their mind. So yeah, they had to change. Sosua. They really, really did. Let me get to some more of these. Oh, where is Mulano? Hey, how you doing? And then Fizio put some laughing there. Where is Mulano? Jamo flaked on me too. Laugh out loud. I met him in Punta Cana. He's not a bad guy. And Sosua, that is the only cat you can save, Cerise. Aw. Stray Python. Wait a minute. Jamo pays those ladies, models, fees and not creep cam work. That is why they keep contacting him for photo shoots. Stray Python, thank you for saying that. So, yes, I don't believe Jamo was, paying them for sex. I don't believe that there were any orgies. I don't believe that at all. I do believe that he was probably doing business. He's a Sagittarius. Not that that really means anything. Like, I mean, I'm a spiritual person, but I do believe in that, grain of truth to a certain extent. But he's a businessman. He's a young guy traveling the world, constantly traveling. And like I said, I really like him. He does not, those women, the bikini girls on the beach and doing sexual poses and stuff, it does not reflect who he is. I don't think he's a creep. I don't think he's a jerk or a pervert at all. When I met him in person, I was like, oh my gosh, I really liked him so much. And it's pronounced Jamo, like Ja, like Jah, like Ja, like God, Ja, Jamo. And I was like, oh my gosh, I really did like him. And I wish that I could get more into story time at that time and have him as one of the actors, because he would have been awesome, he would have been awesome as an actor. So thank you for straightening that out, Stray Python. It's not my intent to put him down at all. I'm just saying, even if he did pay them, it still did kind of leave a bad taste in the mouths of the politicians. Let me see. Where's Milano? Thank you. Your channel is amazing. Robert gave you a like and sub. Thank you for subscribing, Robert. I really appreciate you. Straight Python Noche is getting a little age on her, a little graying around the mouth. Oh, Straight Python. Everyone keeps saying that. Poor girl. Where'd she go? Noche. Here she is. She is. Everyone keeps saying that. Everyone that sees her is like, oh, no, she's getting a little older. She's 7, 6.5. To me, she's still only a little baby. But you're right, she is. And thank you for noticing that. Stray Python, guys, has been a long time loyal viewer, and he's seen a lot of my content, and always comes on when he has time when I'm doing a live. So I want to thank you, Stray Python, for always being there. And yes, my girl is getting up in there in her ages. Let me see. If they got millions in their pockets, they need to let Okay, bring back story time. Juan Carlos Santana. I did the other day. That's a brand new story time just launched. And then we have Cerise, you need to interview NYC The Future. All right. I don't know who that is, but have them contact me and I will look at their channel, and hey, if we can connect with something, we will. I want to talk about tourism, guys. I got to the very bottom of the comments and I'll get to more of the comments. A lot of you guys are asking me about tourism, and let me see how my battery is doing here. Okay, not so bad at all. Oh, wait. Okay. I'm going to go refresh my drink right here, guys. I just got my water notification on my phone. I have to drink water every hour. And so I drank a nice thing of water every hour. And I've been doing pretty good. I'm just going to go off track for a second while I'm pouring my water here. I've been doing really good. Went for reflexology the other day, fell asleep on the table, and an hour of reflexology on my foot. Because I went walking for a couple of hours, and then all of a sudden my foot started to hurt, like planters or platter, whatever, fasciitis. I don't know what it's called, but I just think I had a spur, and my foot was hurting me for about 2 months, and then I went to reflexology, and she's like, an hour, $50 for an hour foot massage, right? What? I was like, that's kind of long. So I never really had a massage before, even in the relationships. And so I was on the bed, and I was thinking about telling her, you know what, let's just do a half an hour. I'll still pay the same price, but let's just play it by ear. But once she started to rub that foot, I was like, the heck? Oh my gosh. And then she started to get right into it. I fell asleep about 20 minutes into it. And I was like, oh, my water notification went off, because it started out walk, the massage, and then my water notification went off at 2:00. And I heard my water notification go off, and I woke up on a massage table, and I was like, oh. And I said, I fell asleep. And she's like, that's okay. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. She's like, no, that's wonderful. You really loved this. And I said, yeah, I was dreaming and everything. I was dreaming and everything, guys. There was a guy by a coconut tree, and he was like watering the coconut tree. Oh, it was a beautiful dream. I would encourage you guys to definitely go to reflexology. Take care of yourself, and I'm so happy that I did do that. So right now, like I said, I have laser treatment right now on my face. It's scabbed up. I went for laser, CO2 fractional laser. It really does good for the skin, especially when you're in the sun and stuff like that. You should always get your skin, really rejuvenated. And that's about it. I've really been taking care of myself. Okay, let's get into tourism. Forget about me. I'll answer more about me in the future. If you guys are ever interested in what I'm doing here and stuff of that nature, we can do a Q&A. But I want to talk about tourism because, a lot of people were worried about tourism, especially people who do business here, people who have properties here, people who have interest in, coming here once a year, like a snowbird, or people who have been watching the Dominican Republic for a very long time on their radar and have been planning on moving here. And all of a sudden, everything got turned upside down and inside out during Atlantico. Well, I never thought I would say this, but I think they did something pretty genius. Like I said, they had to address, all of the vloggers that were coming here, making it look like it was nothing but, prostitution. Sosua has so much more to it. But not only did they address that, but they did it during low season. And I think that was genius because they fixed everything, and now high season is upon us in like another week, right? Because Halloween is coming. And it's like, whoa, everything seems cool in my experience anyway. So for those of you who don't know, I help people find apartments here. I help people relocate. So usually at this time, I have a handful of people arriving and pretty much out of apartments, usually at this time. Well, I have a one bedroom. I have two bedrooms. I have a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom in my building.